my brother Isa, I forgot to mention. When I'm with the Lord, I'm trapping out the mansion. To be probably snatch your chain if you flash it. My life is a movie, I should be on Netflix.
Yo, it's your boy 25K the plug, and I'm on the weekend turn up with Sports Scene. Shout out to Adidas for the drip. Slime. I grew up in a small township in Pretoria called Edwidgeville, but I'm from the other side, Salisbury. So in terms of like street battles and the hip-hop culture, I'd say it's more in the city than in the hood.
Trying to snatch my chain, you'll never catch me lacking.
The first song that I initially recorded, like officially, was in like 2009, using those same lyrics that I used to like freestyle battle with. So that's when I had my first song, and like I was kind of gassed up by my homies and friends and my peers and my classmates and the people that I used to go to school with. So from me just being a kid from the hood, I was in a Model C school, but me writing lyrics in English didn't resonate with me well, type of thing. So I kind of wanted to relate more to the people in the hood. So I didn't even know how to write like in my home language. So whatever I wrote was what I could read. But what I was saying was something that they could hear and relate to. So I started writing lyrics in vernac. And I kind of used to switch from vernac and English and just make it one thing. So I kind of grew into that sound.
The phone ring, then I'm selling something. Chain snatch, if you think I'm bluff.
25K. I was in high school actually when I came up with the name. Like 25K, I kind of had that thing of like just being a young kid, and I really wanted to touch like 25K in cash type of thing. So after high school, it was kind of that thing where I kind of took a gap year, and that gave me more time to like work on the music. So the name 25K, me being in the streets, putting on my little hustle thing, trying to get paid, pay my dues, and I was actually saying like to myself like an affirmation, like I'm trying to touch 25K before I turn 25, and I actually did. But as like me being in the game, being a hustler and all, so the K was initially kilograms. Hopefully that's what I'd charge for a verse in the future. I grew up listening to like AKA when he dropped Alter Ego, like Casper when he dropped Tolofelo, like when all these artists dropped their debut projects, and the SA hip hop game was coming alive more. Cause I used to be more of like listening to like cats overseas, but listening to LES and them coming up, and all the DJs, Milkshake, Dimples, VG, Speedster, when they started putting rappers, some of them coming from different backgrounds, being in the hoods and all, I was just like having fun making songs similar to the sound that they were doing, but I kind of wanted to make something that would make me stand out from the rest. So I was deep in the trap genre.
Pull up in a Beamer.
The song Culture Vulture, it was actually inspired by like what was going on at the time and like my surroundings, being in the hood. To me, it was supposed to be like a street anthem for my hood. When I put out the song, I just put it out on SoundCloud, and it was in December when it initially dropped in 2017. Yeah, in 2017 on the 16th of December. That's when I put the song on SoundCloud. So I was doing small like gigs in PTA and like the bigger shows like Homecoming and Cooler Boxing Day. Each gig that I performed the song, people kept like just quoting my lyrics on Twitter. Like, I heard something like this last night, and people would actually retweet them, recode tweet with the link to the song. Like, it's this dude. Like, and I started gaining like more followers then, as far as the sound, cause I didn't actually think the song would be that big. Funny thing, I shot the video like a year and a half later, and that kind of added more fuel to like where the song initially was. So the video kind of got co-signed. I kind of got co-signed by like cats like Zuchi Kogdo was one of the first guys who reached out to me on Twitter before I actually dropped the video for the song. He hit me up in my DMs. He was like, yo, I like what you're doing. The sound, we need to work more on like this particular sound. I think you're onto something. And then the likes of DJ Maporesa, they were posting like IG stories, listening to the song like on snaps, and they were tagging me, and it kind of went up. KO started snapping, JR started snapping, and AKA, and I think that was the point where I kind of saw like, whoa, this is actually big, because like AKA is one of like the people that I idolize in the SA hip-hop industry. So we were coming from a gig, and I'm seeing the mention in my phone. I thought maybe I was tripping. It was one of those fake accounts on IG. So I see the mention, I'm showing my DJ, I'm like, Joe, look who's tagging me here. And somebody just sent me, Tuli, sent me a text. She sent me a text on WhatsApp. And she was like, yo, check your IG. And when I got on IG, it was actually AKA himself. He was like, yeah, I see what you're doing, that's dope. So what's the vibe? I was like, nah, I'm chill. Still making music type of vibe. He was like, nah, what's the vibe with the song? It was like a remix, nyana. To me, it was kind of like the song was actually big with the video out on its own. So I was kind of like, let's get it then. He actually called me that day for me to send him the instrumental to the beat. So I sent it to him that day, midnight. The next day, he calls me. He's like, yo, I'm gonna do the song. I'm gonna hit you up when I send you the verse. But usually I know artists, like most of the time when artists are supposed to be doing features, they take like maybe a week, 2 weeks, sometimes could be a month or so. He actually hit me up on the third day. And he was like, yo, check your mail. And he sent through the verse actually. And I had it there. And I was in talks with UMG, with Universal, to sign like a singles agreement with them. And this was all happening while we were still negotiating that contract. This was actually like during me signing a deal with Universal and me dropping a remix for Culture Vulture. Like, I had been in contact with Zuchi since then. So when he hit me up, we were actually just working on new vibes. So we were just making music initially. So first time I pulled up with my homies, we chilled. We just chilled. Recording session came up with like a song, and it was a dope song. So he hit me up actually on some like, yo, whenever you trying to do some studio thing, just hit my line and pull up. So I used to do that a lot. And each time I'd come out the studio with like 2 songs, 1 solid song that's like dope type of thing. So this thing kept going like throughout 2019. So in the last quarter of 2019, that's when we actually, now we were like, yo, all these songs, actually we might be up to something type of thing. So that's when we initially started working on my project. So from like mid 2019 till like the fourth quarter and like till where we at right now, like Cliff Audio has been responsible for like my sound.
It amuses me, you fools aren't fooling me. Usually you don't even get love in your communities. You acting like the people got you.
I'd say Peli Makaveli is one to look out for. Like that being my debut project, and we got Suchi doing 99% production on that. So it's basically me telling the stories of me being in the streets of Sourceville, Black Rock, coming up, being in the dope game, just being in the trap, and like to where I'm at right now, today. So that's one for the books to look out for. I'ma definitely be dropping like a single before my project, so quite a few singles.
She keep blowing on my phone,
I'd say invest in yourself from the get-go, like even if it's the smaller things, like cause where I'm coming from, like there's not many privileges as far as like the arts. Like there's no way where you would say it's an auditorium where you can rehearse type of thing. Like all those facilities, they be closed even way before lockdown type of thing. So I'd say social media is one platform that you can take advantage of to get your music out there, or your art, whatever talent you got going on. I'd say start building from there and like invest in the smaller nyana things. If you have like a PC, a laptop, like it's easy to get like recording softwares, and like you can actually save up for like a standard microphone and a sound card, like all those smaller nyana things. Because I feel like if you were to pay studio time somewhere else, over time, when you calculate the amount of money you would have spent, you could have had like a young setup for yourself, where you could be recording. You'll never know, you could be out there making our next big hit, which is gonna hit the radio stations, and you might get yourself on the TV screens, or out here doing a sports scene weekend turn up.
How come I'm rapping but I'm in the streets? I put my logo and them on their feet. Come on and spilling like